Hello, bookish friends. My name is Heather, and as always, I'm reading with a vengeance, and I hope you are too. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the books that I hope to read in the month of October that all have spooky vibes. Welcome back if you've been here before. If you're new, very warm welcome to you. I hope everybody's doing well. Again, I'm still in kind of a recording slump. As you may or may not have noticed, I'm in the same shirt that I was in a different video. Who knows, maybe I'll post this before that one. I don't know. I'm in a very strange place when it comes to recording videos, but I just wanted to share with you what I hope to read in the spookiest month of the year. For me, that's October. I don't know if it's a different month for you. If I do post this video before I post the other video where I talk a little bit more in depth about my recording slump and you're completely confused, I just have been feeling kind of a weird pressure to record things that I'm not really comfortable recording in order to kind of stay trendy and stay on point creatively. And that pressure has made me feel a little weird. So I just kind of wanted to stay focused and talk about the things that I want to talk about. And that is the books that I have been reading and what I liked about them, what I didn't like about them, what you might like about them, and the books that I want to read. In order to get over that slump, I kind of have to make these recordings with very minimal preparation. So, I mean, I haven't really done my hair. I haven't really done much with my makeup, and I didn't change my shirt from the last video I recorded. So this is just me talking about books, raw dogging, if you will. For this video, I want to tell you the books that I just pulled off my shelf randomly that have some kind of spooky or dark vibe that I hope to get to in the month of October. In no particular order, the first book that I had picked off my shelf, I'm already 172 pages into it and I'm loving it, and that is The Reformatory by Tananarive. This book does not come out until October 31st. So this is an ARC that I got from work and I'm really enjoying it. It is very creepy. This takes place at a boys' school in Gracetown, Florida, and it takes place in the 1950s. This is roughly based on an actual school for boys in Florida called the Dozier School for Boys that was closed as recently as 2011 for the abuses that occurred there. And this story follows Robert Stevens, who ends up at a boys' school and what happens when he goes there. There are ghosts also involved. I think Robert is able to see ghosts, and then there's the scariness of ghosts, but I think most of the scariness happens at the hands of the workers at the boys' school and the warden. So I'm really glad I picked this one up first. I'm very much enjoying it. I very much look forward to talking to you about it in my mid-month wrap-up in October. The next book I picked up off my shelf, I have picked up a couple of times. It's come up in a couple of TBRs, and for whatever reason, I don't get to it, even though I very much want to read it, and that is Swan Song by Robert McCammon. Robert McCammon wrote one of my all-time favorite books called Boy's Life. And I think this has kind of vibes of Stephen King's The Stand. Facing down an unprecedented malevolent enemy, the US government responds with a nuclear attack. Soon, America as it was is gone forever, and now every citizen, from the President of the United States to the homeless on the streets of New York City, will fight to stay alive. In a wasteland born of rage and fear, populated by monstrous creatures and marauding armies, Earth's last survivors are drawn into the final battle between good and evil, which will decide the fate of humanity. Sister, who discovers a strange and transformative glass artifact in the destroyed Manhattan streets, Joshua Hutchins, the pro wrestler who takes refuge from the nuclear fallout at a Nebraska gas station, and Swan, a young girl possessing special powers who travels alongside Josh to a Midwest town where healing and recovery can begin with her extraordinary gifts. But the ancient force behind the world's devastation is scouring the walking wounded for recruits to build its relentless army, beginning with Swan herself. So, I'm pretty sure the reason I have backed off of this book is because it is a chunker. It is more than, oh my gosh, it's 900 pages long. Oh my God, and tiny words. But I really want to read this. I already know I love his writing. I'm really hoping to get to this in October. Another book I randomly pulled off the shelf because of the author is Full Throttle by Joe Hill. You may or may not know Joe Hill is Stephen King's son, and this is a collection of short stories. Now, I don't usually do well with short stories. with the exception of Stephen King. So I might have better luck with this one. And this is really going to kind of tip the scales either way if Joe Hill is going to be an author for me, because while I read The Fireman, which I absolutely loved, I also read Nosferatu, which I didn't like so much. So I don't know. Let's see what it says on the back. Responding to a cry for help, a sister and brother discover something evil in the Tall Grass, co-written with Stephen King. A little door opens to a world of fairy tale wonders that becomes the blood-drenched stomping ground for a gang of hunters in Fawn. A grief-stricken librarian climbs behind the wheel of an antique bookmobile to deliver fresh reads to the dead in late returns. And in By the Silver Water of Lake Champlain, two young friends stumble on the corpse of a plesiosaur at the water's edge, a discovery that forces them to confront their own inescapable mortality. And tension shimmers in the sweltering heat of the Nevada desert as a faceless trucker finds himself caught in a sinister dance with a tribe of motorcycle outlaws in Throttle, also co-written with King. Those all sound really, really good to me. Very Stephen King-ish, which I absolutely love Stephen King short stories. I'm really hoping to get to this one in October. All of these books, that's what this video is, all the creepy books I want to read in October. So I'm going to try not to say that after every book. Next up is a book I believe I mentioned either in a new release coming out a couple of months ago or a recent book haul. I can't remember. This is an ARC that I got from work, and it came out in June, and it's called Cicdas Sing of Summer Graves by Quinn Connor. This cover is absolutely gorgeous. I'm thinking that a book with graves in the title is going to be something creepy. I can't remember what this one is about. Years ago, yellow fever gripped the small lakeside town of Prosper, Arkansas. At the height of that summer swelter, in the wake of an unexpected storm, the dam failed and the valley flooded, drowning the town and everyone trapped inside. The secrets of old Prosper drowned with them. Now, decades later, when a mysterious locked box is pulled from the depths of the lake, three descendants of that long-ago tragedy are hurled into another feverish summer. Cassie, the reclusive sole witness to an impossible horror no one believes. Lark, a wide-eyed dreamer haunted by bizarre visions. And June, the traveler caught between longing for a fresh start and bearing witness to the ghosts of the past. Bound together, all three must contend with their home's complex history and with the ruins of the town lost far beneath the troubled water. I do remember that now, and I really love how there is a mystery from the past and it's brought forward into the present day, and you're dealing with three young women and their relationships with each other and the relationships to this tragedy, all taking place in a small town in the South. And yeah, I don't know why I haven't read this sooner, but October is the perfect month for it. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that one. This next one is another ARC. My husband's already read it, and that is This Wretched Valley by Jenny Kiefer. I haven't heard of this author, but I knew that I brought this home for my husband because I knew that he would just absolutely love this cover, and this was right up his alley. My husband enjoyed the book. He said that he didn't love the ending, but I think it might be worth a read just for spooky season. And I'm only going to just read the blurb on the back, a really small one. 4 ambitious climbers hike into the Kentucky wilderness. 7 months later, 3 mangled bodies are discovered. Were their deaths simple accidents or the result of something more sinister? This one's just under 300 pages, so I feel like it wouldn't take me a long time to read. And to be honest, I'm not as excited about this one as I am about the previous 3 that I've talked about, so this is a big we'll see. This next book I definitely talked about in one of my new releases that I'm excited about videos, and that is The Quiet Tenant by Clémence Michaillon. I know it's French, and I know I'm just butchering that. So this is an ARC that I received. My husband's already read this. He did enjoy it very much. I do remember when he was reading it, he'd put it down a couple of times and go, what the heck is going on here? There's some crazy dark stuff going on in this book. And I'm like, cool. This one says, a pulse-pounding psychological thriller about a serial killer hiding in plain sight, narrated by the women in his life, his teenage daughter, his girlfriend, and the one victim he has spared. So that compared with my husband's review of the book, I feel like I would read this before I read This Wretched Valley. Definitely a really good book for October. This next book is very popular in the horror genre, especially on Booktube, and that is Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesare. Another cover that I think is absolutely perfect. Quinn Maybrook just wants to make it to graduation, but she might not make it to morning. When Quinn and her father moved to a tiny town with a weird clown for a mascot, they were looking for a fresh start. But ever since the town's only factory shut down, Kettle Springs has been cracked in half. Most of the town believes that the kids are to blame. After all, the juniors and seniors at Kettle Springs High are the ones who threw the party where Arthur Hill's daughter died. They're the ones who set the abandoned factory on fire and who spend all of their time posting pranks on YouTube. They have no respect and no idea what it means to work hard. For the kids, it's the other way around, and now Kettle Springs is caught in a constant battle between old and new, tradition and progress. It's a fight that looks like it will destroy the town until one homicidal clown with a pork pie hat and a red nose decides to end it for good. Because if your opponents all die, you win the debate by default. The only thing that would detract from it being as much of a horror as I would like it to be is this is classified as a YA. And that's not to say I will not enjoy it. I probably still will enjoy it. But when you're looking for a horror novel versus when you're looking for a YA novel, those things don't necessarily work well together when you're not a YA. It got a blurb by Clive Barker, an author who knows how to make us afraid. So we'll see about that. But the last book I'm going to talk to you about is The Floating Girls by Lo Patrick. This has been on my shelf for a while. So we have the backwaters of Georgia hold many buried secrets, but they won't stay buried forever. Fun fact, I know that I bought this when I was still living in Connecticut, and now I live in Georgia, so I think I need to get to this sooner rather than later. One hot, sticky summer in Bledsoe, Georgia, 12-year-old Kay Whitaker stumbles across a stilt house in a neighboring marsh and upon Andy Weber, a boy about her age. He and his father have recently moved back to Georgia from California, and rumors of the suspicious drowning of Andy's mother years earlier have chased them there and back. Kay is fascinated and enamored with Andy, and she doesn't listen when her father tells her to stay away from the Webers. But when Kay's sister goes missing, the mystery of Mrs. Weber's death and Kay's parents' potential role in it comes to light. Kay and her brothers must navigate the layers of secrets that emerge in the course of the investigation as their family and the world as they know it unravels around them. Another book with a 12-year-old protagonist. So that's interesting. This one might go up the list as far as which ones I reach for first. So here are my hopefuls for October. So just off the cuff, the order that I want to read them, I would say Swan Song, Full Throttle, The Quiet Tenant, Floating Girls, Cicdas Sing of Summer Graves, This Wretched Valley, and Clown in a Cornfield. That's my order. What do you guys think? Have you read any of these books? Do you recommend any of these? Which ones I should read after I finish the Reformatory? I'm happy to take recommendations, but you got to back them up. Anyways, I didn't mean for this to be a TBR video. I just wanted to share with you the books that I want to read for October. So I guess it is a TBR video, but it's also kind of the spooky books that I want to read for the spooky season. Nevertheless, what are you reading for spooky season? Do you celebrate Halloween? Do you enjoy reading spooky books at this time of year? I would love to hear about them. As always, thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.